Welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avantes, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang? I don't know about you, but I'm really ready to go to the library, and I don't think I've ever said that before.
I hear ya. I am super stoked for some more content, and
Yeah,
we should be getting it pretty soon.
yeah. And before we get into the news, and we got a lot this week, I'll just go into my week before asking about yours. I didn't do real well in THL this week. We had a bye week for Legacy, but I lost my wild match 1-3. But we won. My team won the week by pretty handily. Won the week, so we are 2-0 for the week. So my team is kind of carrying me. Uh, so it's that's good. And then I've made it up. I've hit my Diamond 5 goal for both Wild and Standard already. So I've kind of just last month I pushed really hard really early, mainly because the set was coming out. I think I'm just gonna kind of take it easy because I think I got burnt out last month and didn't want to make that final push because I played what I say almost 1,000 games in 1 month, and I think I
Yeah.
literally got a bit burned out. So I'm finding some time to do some non Hearthstone things. Might play a little more BGs, especially with this new event coming up. We'll talk about. But yeah, that was my week. How's your week in Hearthstone and regular life?
It was busy. So yeah, my wife hurt her other foot, so she's going to end up having to have surgery. So we spent most of the week at the doctor and running around doing stuff. So I didn't actually get to play a whole lot this week. Um, ended up, I got, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 games in here and there. Played one battleground this week, but beyond that, I've been mostly on the go, playing probably more Marvel Strike Force than I should be, but that's just the way it is sometimes. I feel like I've been out of the house more this week than I have in the last 6 months, just because having to get stuff done. But
Well,
that's
she hurt. Her last foot was her
so.
left foot.
Yeah, she had
This one's her
surgery.
driving foot.
She had surgery on her left foot back in March,
Uh-huh.
and that one's healing well. And now she has torn a tendon in her right foot, and that is her driving foot. So it just so happens the tendon she has torn is the one that makes the foot rotate up and down, so she can't apply pressure to the gas pedal.
So you're driving Miss Crazy. I mean Miss Daisy.
That is correct.
We need to
Absolutely.
get you one of those little chauffeur caps.
So
But no,
yeah.
that's no a huge commitment to obviously playing your part in the family. Being her partner in the household. It's real honorable for you to make sure she's taken care of and able to get the places she needs to get to. Uh, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, well, we've been married 17 years. That's just kind of the things you have, the sacrifices you have to make.
I I'll get there eventually, maybe combined.
Oh, so all right, let's just kind of like you said, we do have a lot of news this week,
Yeah,
so we need to probably just jump right into it, and let's start with the round robin grandmasters started this week.
yeah.
So this is week 4, and we're seeing round robin play for both groups A and B. Um, APAC. So APAC has already wrapped up for this week, and
Mhm.
highlights: we saw Surrender go 2-0 in Division A. We saw Chiansu go 0-2 in
Yeah,
Division
that
A.
that surprises me because Chauncey looked really good in the Swiss rounds, and for him to start out 0-2, which have to remember, Division A, those bottom two slots go into the relegation tournament,
Yeah,
the four-person relegation tournament. So, uh, yeah, it's hopefully hopefully he can kind of fix it up. But this Division A is pretty stacked, so
hmm
I'll be really surprised. regardless of who ends up at the bottom two, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then we've got Alan Numbers 870-806. He is 2-0 in Division B right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a good spot for him because he didn't do really good in the Swiss rounds, but he settled in Division B, and obviously Division B is all the bottom 8 players. So maybe that's where Allen can kind of rise to the top. There isn't really a notable bottom yet because most of the people are still only played one. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But yeah, there's nobody notable in the two that has any 2 games in the bottom. They're all 0-1s right now. So fortunately, Asia Pacific is still working itself out.
Yeah. And the European region is actually still playing as we are recording this episode today. And so far, we've seen Bunny Hopper and RDU are both 2-0 in Division A, while Viper, after a loss just a few minutes ago, is now 0-2 in Division A. Kind of feels like RDU has found his groove.
Yeah, RDU and Casey kind of had a playful banter today on Twitter, where RDU was like, "Don't worry, I won't be long before I go back to streaming Battlegrounds," and he did not lie because he beat Casey probably in like 15 minutes. It was fast.
Wow.
Of course, Casey, they're practice partners.
Oh, yeah.
It was all in fun banter. So, but yeah, RDU came out the blocks. What surprises me is Viper, and we were just watching him before we started recording when he lost his last game, and Viper he's playing faster than normal. He just didn't seem in it today. So I don't know if there's stuff going on or if it's just a meta right now, which obviously it's going to change next week. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, I'm again, we're at the beginning of the round robin, so we're not seeing a lot flesh out yet.
Yeah, and in the Americas, of course, if EU is still going, Americas hasn't started yet. But Muzzy is 2-0 in Division A. Language Hacker and Bloody Face both so far are winless in Division A.
Yeah, and obviously we've never been shy about saying that we're big Bloody Face and Language Hacker fans. So that's surprising. Hopefully they can kind of figure it out. Language Hacker is 0-2, where Bloody Face is 0-1, along with Just Saying in the bottom there. The top of Division B, it's only been 1 game so far, and a lot of players haven't even played today, is ETC with going 1-0. So I like seeing that ETC is not bowing out, which what seems to be his final season, because he's already said he's going to be retiring out.
Yeah, absolutely. He said he was going to go down swinging, so we'll see what happens. All right, that brings us to what we kind of alluded to at the top of the show, and with this week's episode title, it's time to check out the Forbidden Library. So this new Scholomance event starts on Tuesday, September the 8th. And will run through September the 29th. So this is a 3-week event, which is kind of exciting. Week 1, so starting Tuesday, we'll get Battleground parties, where we finally get 8 player-friendly lobbies. Now,
yes,
you guys know, as an innkeeper, I have been talking about the possibility of this ever since Battlegrounds were first introduced. This is something the innkeeper community has pushed for really, really hard since the original Battlegrounds were introduced, and I'm so excited to see this finally being introduced into the game.
Yeah, I am too. And we'll talk more in details on what that the Battle Parties is when we get to the next news section. But yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. And then we're also getting some new heroes, Scholomance specific heroes, including Lord Barov, Jandis Barov, and Forest Warden Omu coming to Battlegrounds.
Yeah, and all this we didn't say at the top. This is a special event called the Forbidden Library,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going from September 8th to the 29th. And this is what we're going to see in week one,
Yep,
which is this Tuesday, the 8th.
correct.
Along with all of that is a mega bundle that's going to be coming out. It's called a Mega Wild Bundle. This is exciting for our Wild players. You get 56 packs from recently rotated expansions. So if you've recently got into Wild, you can kind of, jump into it with a big bundle like this. That'll help you get those cards.
Do we know yet? Has it been announced what the price of that bundle is going to be yet?
It hasn't. They didn't announce a price of either bundle because in week 2 we have the second part of the Scholomance, the Forbidden Library event,
Mm-hmm.
and that starts September 15th, where we're going to get the Book of Heroes solo content. So we've been, obviously every set we've been promised solo content,
Mm-hmm.
and that's no different this time. Except this time we're getting the story of Jaina. And by playing through it, you can earn a mage pack, which is a pack that gets you all mage cards. We've seen those before. But it says that this is going to be a storyline that they're going to be releasing over the next 12 months. So it leads me to believe that they're replacing the regular rotated solo content every 4 months with this. What do you think about that? I mean, do you think that's a good thing?
I think it's exciting because, in the past when they release solo content, everybody kind of plays through it and then just moves on, and very few people, myself excluded, ever go back to play solo content once they finished it. I still love doing the build your deck as you play through top solo content. So I still play those from time to time. But I really am kind of excited about the idea of refreshing it and keeping it kind of feeling new and seeing how that works.
Awesome. I like it because it seems as if it's gonna be smaller content, maybe not as challenging as the rest, but it tells a narrative, it tells a story. But we're gonna get it more frequently, which also comes with rewards. I'm assuming we're gonna get a class pack, set of class packs for each of those, because we're going to obviously tell the story. They said 12 over the next 12 months, but right now there's only 10 core heroes. So I wonder if we're going to hear something from some of the extra portraits we have, or if indeed we might have new classes running out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. And then in that second week, there's also going to be a Scholar bundle. They haven't named the price yet, but it's going to have a new Jaina portrait and 5 mage packs.
Woohoo! Our 40th mage portrait. I mean,
this is like young Jaina, and I kind of like that. I like that the portraits tell a story.
Yeah.
They've done a good job with them recently. And then week 3 of the event. It starts on the 23rd. It's going to be the Heroic Brawliseum.
So if you guys remember, this is something we've had before. This is the $10 tavern brawl type thing where you pay to get in, and it has the really, really good rewards the higher you get.
Obviously, this is more favored by your more skilled players that can get a consistent 10 and up win where they just keep doing it over and over again.
I think we decided in like way back when they first introduced this in one of our episodes, we did the math, and it was like a minimum of 3 wins in Heroic Brawliseum to get your money's equivalent in prizes.
Yeah, and it's 1,000 gold or $9.99. You can pay real money, but you can also spend some like gold. And I've actually got up a couple thousand gold already.
Nice.
So, fortunately, that'll be good for me. And then they've been making a habit. Right now, they have the cupcake card back has come back, and they offer them in the store. I think you can get them for like $1.99 or 500 gold or something like that. Uh, well, in week 3, they're coming out with the Magic of Dalaran card back again. And a lot of these card backs are card backs from previous months, early, like first year or two of Hearthstone, that they're re-releasing for players.
Yeah.
I have all the card backs other than Thrill of Victory and the Golden Celebration, and it's kind of a tag of pride for me to not have to worry about the card backs or know that I have the card backs and some people don't.
Right.
So it kind of saddened me a little bit that some people are getting things that I felt like I earned for playing the game so early.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for people that like these and collect these, just because they started late, it kind of hurts that they can't get them again. So it's kind of a double-edged sword for me. But all this starts this Tuesday on the 8th, where we're going to get a patch 18.2 to drop.
That is correct. So let's talk about those battleground parties now, because that's
Yes.
kind of the for me, one of the things that I'm the most excited about coming to the game. So basically, you're gonna be able to queue up with at least 4 of your friends to queue into normal ranked battleground matches together. Once the group lobby exceeds 4 players, the game top will then automatically switch to a private battlegrounds match where you can have between 5 and 8 players in the battlegrounds. So it's going to be basically, I'm so excited for the next time we can get together in person to do a fireside and do in-person matches with battlegrounds and create our own like in-house ladder. It's going to be so awesome.
So before I elaborate on that, first off, basically what's happening is you can queue up right now in Battlegrounds. You can queue up with one other friend and you'll be put in the same game. You can now queue up with as many friends as you want.
Yeah.
Up to 4 players can queue together, and when you queue with 3 other players, you being the 4th, you will join the same ladder game in Hearthstone against other people. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm hoping that it prioritizes matching you with another pair of 4, because if you're matched up with 4 individuals, then that's a little unfair because you can communicate over Discord or whatnot. And then if you queue up from 5 to 8, like you said, you will get your own private battlegrounds. And this doesn't have to be local.
Yes.
Meaning you could possibly host a virtual fireside. Where the problem with the firesides now is you can't gain access to any of the fireside perks. But if your whole goal is just to do battlegrounds, then this is a good thing, because you could actually, Avantis could organize, a group of 8 people in Tennessee or in the Hearthstone community or Hero Power community, and have like a little pseudo fireside where maybe we give prizes and stuff, virtual prizes.
I think this requires a little bit of science this week.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to test this out this week and possibly see what the limitations are, because there's obviously going to be some type of limitations, and they're probably going to be bugs. So I'm really excited for this. I want to see how it works out if you don't have a full game of 8, because obviously there's going to be weird matchmaking things with 7 or odd numbers, 5. So I'm just excited for them to do this.
Yeah.
Because this opens the door up for other things where they can utilize this party system. Maybe tournaments.
Yeah.
Again, not saying they're going to do that, but it opens up that capability where before they had limitations. So I'm really, really, really excited about this feature, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, me either. All right. So let's talk about the new heroes coming to Battlegrounds. First up, we have...
Before we get into who they are, You will get these on the 8th if you have the Battlegrounds perks.
Perks. Yeah.
If you don't, you will get them when they roll out to everybody, which is going to be after the event on the 29th.
Correct.
So if you want to play with these on Tuesday or before the 29th, you need to have the Battlegrounds perks.
All right. So first up, we have Lord Barov, whose ability is called Friendly Wager. It's 1 mana or 1 gold. Guess which player will win their next combat. If they win, you get 3 coins. Now, it's important to note here that you will not bet on yourself. It'll always be another match as long as there are eligible opponents available in the lobby.
Okay.
And basically, when you click that button, it'll pick a random match, and then you'll pick who you think will win.
That's kind of cool. I like it. Obviously, there's some gimme situations where somebody's match against AFK the first couple rounds. You're going to vote against AFK, things like that. So this is really neat. And then the reward is you get 3 coins. That's tangible. That's not something it's not 3 gold that next turn that you have to spend. You can bank this up. So, and for 1 gold, that's just a good hero power.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be top tier.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Next up, we have John Desparoff. Swap, Lock, and Shop It is her ability.
I love the name.
It's a 0 cost. Swap a friendly non-golden minion with a random one in Bob's Tavern.
So this is interesting because a lot of people came out really on the fence on this. So like, why do you want to swap? And it sounds like it swaps, meaning you don't get into your hand, so you can't play that minion. And there was a lot of people focusing on what random minion you could get from Bob's Tavern. However, I looked at it more as the friendly minion I'm giving Bob's Tavern. I can buy an Alley Cat, swap the Alley Cat with a random minion in Bob's Tavern, and then get another Alley Cat to get a second token and possibly ramp up to the gold. And then do it again next turn and get a golden off my tokens, not off the minion itself.
Okay.
You can also do it with buff minions. Buy a buff minion, play it, give it back to Bob, buy it again, play it, give it back to Bob. And so there are some I don't know how good she's going to be because there's a lot of investment with that. Obviously, her hero power is going to be 0 gold, so there's no investment in that, but you have to rebuy that minion and not buy possibly a better tiered minion or a better statted minion. So you might be suffering in stats for the long-term gain of getting goldens quicker or getting buffs faster. So I'm not sure. I think she might be middling once people figure out how to play her. But once the experts get a hold of her and start learning the way to break her, you might see her shoot up in the win rates on HS Replay. I can't wait to see somebody like RDU or Crypt get their hand. Well, not Crypt because Crypt just plays Murlocs, but RDU get his hands on somebody like on the character Janice Barrow because I really want to watch him play with her.
Yeah. All right, and then the third hero is Forest Warden Omu. Now his hero power is called Everbloom, and it's a passive ability, meaning you'll never have to activate it. His ability is after you upgrade Bob's Tavern, gain 2 gold this turn only. So this hero power is really contingent on you being able to strategize the perfect time to do an upgrade and utilize that gold with something that Bob might have available in the tavern.
Yeah, so I looked at this and at first I liked it and I saw lots of scenarios and then I thought about it. If you're playing on curve where you're upgrading your tavern on 2, 4, and 7 like you normally do, 2 gold isn't enough. And you only get it that turn. It's not like you're getting 2 coins like you do with Lord Barov. So I honestly think Forest Warden Omu's not going to perform very well, and eventually they're going to buff it to 3 gold this turn, and then because 3 gold's enough to buy a minion, Force Warden Omu will shoot up in the win rates, and then it'll be one of those cards that, or one of those heroes that they have a hard time balancing because you go slightly up and it's too broken. You go slightly back down to where it was, and it's not good enough. So I'm kind of predicting that Force Warden Omu might be one of those they have to rework.
Okay, all right.
I don't like its current form, and I do want to make a correction to something I said earlier. If you don't have the Battlegrounds perks, you get them on the 22nd, not the 29th.
Okay.
So that's a little better. You get them.
Yeah.
You get them on their formal release on the 22nd.
Yeah. We do have a new minion coming to the Battlegrounds, and that is the Micro Mummy. It's going to be a tier 1, and of course, you guys know Micro Mummy is the Paladin mech with Reborn. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1 attack. So that's pretty cool to see another mech coming into the field of play.
Yeah, and they've been rotating a lot of standard cards or constructed cards out of Battlegrounds to put in cards that are made just for Battlegrounds, and I was worried they were going to eventually get rid of all the cards that are constructed legal, and it's nice to see they're putting some in.
And
so
now,
cool.
it's important to note that usually when they add a minion, they take a minion out, and the minion that's being removed is the Mecharoo.
Yeah, and this kind of does what Mecharoo does, but better, and it has extra benefits. So I expect mechs to kind of jump up in their win rates. So mechs are kind of low right now, so that's good. That's good for mechs.
And they've reworked an existing minion, the Pack Leader. It's a tier 2 minion. It was a 3/3. Whenever you summon a beast, give it +3 attack. The new Pack Leader is going to remain a 2 tier, but it's now going to be a 2/3 minion. Whenever you summon a beast, give it 2 attack. So it brings it a little down in line with some other tier 2 minions.
Yeah, I actually didn't even realize it changed from a 3/3 to a 2/3. But they recently changed it from a tier 3 to a tier 2. So this just balances out well.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of balancing out well, there are some standard card updates coming. So those of you playing ladder, listen up. First up, Secret Passage. Everybody hates Secret Passage. So
unless you love
Secret Passage. Yeah. So how is Secret Passage changing? Well, Secret Passage is going from replacing your hand with 5 cards from your deck to replacing your hand with 4 cards from your deck. So you're going to get 1 less resource off of a Secret Passage. Do you feel like that's going to make a big difference, Zeroshio?
No, I think this it still goes in Rogue and it's still just as powerful. Sure, your ratios on getting kind of a win that turn goes down by a small percentage, but you still run this. Now, I played in Wild and saw somebody run this in a Mechathune Rogue.
Okay.
Where the whole deck draws their entire deck, and then they play the 5-mana minion that turns all your Death Rattle minions into 1-mana 1/1s. And then it plays Mechathune for 1, and then plays Secret Passage
to get rid of all the cards in your hand. Yeah.
So everything's gone. So it's really, it's good. It beat me. I was like, what are they doing? This is a weird deck, and all of a sudden they Mechathune me. So that was really cool. And this doesn't change that at all.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the Cabal Acolyte. And it was a 2/6 minion for 4 with Taunt and Spell Burst. Gain control of a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack. Well, it's now going to be a 2/4 minion with all those same mana and abilities. So they're just reducing its health by 2. Again, do you feel like this is going to affect the rate of play of which we see this Acolyte?
No, and Wicked Good on the most recent episode of Off Curve talked about this, saying that 6 health breakpoint. Well, first off, the 4 health breakpoint is kind of a healthy for that 4 mana slot. You get the 5, and that's really strong. You get the 6, and it's just broken. So not only are they able to take a minion, possibly a big minion if they use Wave of Apathy, but then they also have 6 body you have to get through before you can even deal with that minion with any of your minions. So it being a 2/4 is just, it's just balanced now. It's still going to be played. I don't think it's going to. So far, they've done really good on these on balance changes the last couple times, where the cards they changed are still in the decks. It just lowers the win rate of that deck slightly.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to skip the next one. We'll come back to it. I'm going to save the buffs for the end. So the next card,
Kinda.
the next card that's getting affected is Archwitch Willow. She's a 9-mana 7/7 battlecry. Summon a random demon from your hand and deck. The new is going to be an 8-mana 5/5. Summon a random demon from your hand and deck. So
is this a nerf or a buff?
Oh, that's a good point. This is probably a buff, isn't it?
So I think this is a buff because and they've done so the last couple cards, obviously other than the one we skipped, are kind of questionable whether nerfs or buffs. Obviously going down to 5/5 is pretty impactful. Makes that 8-mana slot.
And it's only a 1 mana difference to lose 2 -2/-2 on the attack and health. So
yes, but now you can put this in Plot Twist Warlock. So before, the biggest problem was, what if you drew those big demons, which aren't a lot of really good big Warlock demons now anyways. I think this is more future-proofing for the next set coming out. But if you draw them and you have it in, say, a Plot Twist Warlock, you can Plot Twist and still play her and possibly be shuffling those other demons back into your deck. So before, I was like, wow, I'd love to put her in Plot Twist Warlock, but I want to be able to Plot Twist and Archwitch Willow on the same turn, and I can't. Well, now I can. So I see this as a buff.
Okay.
Because honestly, her stats don't matter if you're putting out 2 big, beefy demons. What does it matter if she's 5/5 or not? I mean, we've seen that before.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about the one we skipped then. Totem Golem. It was a 5-mana 4/5 Death Rattle. Summon all 4 basic totems. Overload 2. Now it's a 5-mana 5/5, so it's gaining an attack. Same Death Rattle, and they've reduced the overload from 2 to 1.
Somebody played this against me in a Totem Golem, and I still beat him. So I don't know how impactful this card's going to be. I think it's actually going to be more effective in Wild, to be honest, because there's this new style of Wild
Totem Shaman.
It's an odd shaman.
Okay.
And what it does is it guarantees to have the spell power totem, or really whatever totem you want. And it's very spell based. But to have this kind of stickiness in a big minion, and then it puts out more minions that you can buff. And there's also Totem Shaman as well in Wild. Totem Shaman is standard. I've seen it a few times. It's not terribly effective, and I don't think this helps it too much. But this is clearly a buff, and maybe bring Shaman up. I know I'm talking a lot of other shows, but a lot of other shows have had great content lately. And Cora Georgiou, Songbird Cora, on the Blizzard Team 5, I think right now she's in the Battlegrounds team. She said she actually was in final design. I believe it was final. It might have been initial design for this card, or for Shaman specifically for this set. So she talked about how she loved Totem Goliath and would like to see it in a better spot. Maybe she was kind of alluding to the buffs that were about to happen. But it's nice to see that they're trying to bring that archetype up, because it's an archetype they've been trying to push for years. And it's right on the cusp of being good.
Okay. All right. And the last card being changed in Standard is Dark Glare.
Yes.
So
this one's big. This is big.
So this was a 3-mana 3/4 demon. After your hero takes damage, refresh 2 mana crystals. Well, now it's going to be a 2-mana 2/3 demon. So loses a mana cost, loses +1, or takes -1/-1 to attack and health, and after your hero takes damage, you only refresh a single mana crystal now.
So is this a buff or a nerf?
Well, obviously, this feels more like a nerf because you were getting huge benefit from those mana crystals.
Sure, but in standard, how viable is that huge benefit? The most broken thing they're doing is being able to bounce back a pen flinger over and over again, and you really need only one mana to do that. I think personally in standard, this is a buff, but in wild, it's a huge nerf. And at somewhere, I think they did a really good job. I think in standard, this is still playable, but in wild, that deck dies.
Okay.
And that deck right now is so oppressive. People are not wanting to play wild right now because that's all they're seeing. Other than me, because I play decks that counter it, because a Holy Wrath at face when they're at 6 health usually ends up winning the game. But I digress. I think this is a very, very creative way of nerfing a card in a way that it's still playable in standard. And sure, you might not. There are certain fringe cases that are considered a nerf, but as a playability for this in that Pain Zoo in standard, I think that deck gets slightly better with this change. Not a lot better, but slightly better. But in wild, that Dark Glare Warlock just drops off the face of the earth.
Okay. All right. And we have quite a few game improvements and miscellaneous updates. We'll have the link to those posted on our show notes. We do want to touch on a couple of them.
Yeah.
Let me finish my sentence, Zerocio. But we do want to touch on a few of them that we feel are important.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So the most important to me, and this may not seem super important, is when you create a new deck in Hearthstone, it always shows up at the bottom. And now we can move our decks, and that's great. But it just annoyed me that it's always at the bottom. Well, now when you make a new deck, it's going to put it at the top. Because usually when you're making a new deck, it's because you're going to play it right away. So you want it to be in that first deck slot. So this is, to me, huge quality of life. And I like that they're still focusing on the quality of life aspects of the client and not just the play changes, just how cards interact. So that was my highlight for the miscellaneous bug fixes. They also corrected some Kingsbane interaction in the secret passage.
So I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
So what was happening is if you Kingsbaned and then, or if you secret passage for the Kingsbane and then equip the Kingsbane and then you boomeranged your Kingsbane, which would put it back into your hand, it would remember picking it up from secret passage and shuffle it back into your deck.
Oh.
It was a very fringe interaction, but it was causing a lot of problems with Kingsbane matchups because most decks have taken Boomerang out because it didn't work well with Secret Passage. Now you can put Boomerang back in your deck. Then there were some Headmaster Kel'Thuzad fixes. There was a lot of Headmaster Kel'Thuzad fixes. The two most notable is that they added more death situations, specifically with swapping health and attack to the point where you're reducing attack down to 0, and then if you use something that swapped health and attack, it would kill the minion. Well, it didn't give you that minion because it died, and it should with Kel'Thuzad, but with this change it will now, and also fix situations where spells were getting poisonous. Now you will, when they kill a minion, they will give you that minion off Kel'Thuzad's spell burst. So little quality changes or little bug changes, fixes with Kel'Thuzad. Also, this is a funny one. This is why I wanted to bring it up. Summoning a cat will no longer allow Headmaster Kel'Thuzad's spell burst to trigger on the opponent's turn. The Headmaster just gets really excited about cats. So if you haven't heard, there's an Easter egg that, and I don't know if I've told you about this. I found this out a few weeks ago.
We talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Where you fill your entire board with cats, it will give you Bigglesworth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, evidently this makes me wonder if there's other interaction with cats that haven't been found out yet, because if somebody summoned, I think it wasn't playing a cat, it was if they summoned a cat. So I think this is could only happen in wild. If you summoned a cat for some reason, it would trigger Kel'Thuzad Spellburst, which nothing died, so nothing would happen. But it was just a weird interaction with cats, and I love the last sentence of it here. The headmaster just gets really excited about cats.
Right. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I just find it funny when little Easter eggs like this get found by the community and then they address them.
Yeah.
But there's tons of little bug fixes and small. Most of them are quality of life, and a lot of them are wild related. So it's really nice that the team is doing a good job while obviously working from home to get a lot of these bugs taken care of.
That's right. This week's Tavern Brawl is the Unidentifier Brawl. Just props to the team. I love the name. After a very successful dungeon run, your bags are overflowing with unidentified loot. Take a random deck into battle and identify those items. So, I haven't gotten to play this yet. I'll just tell you straight up.
Technically, I haven't either.
Okay.
Because I queued up, my opponent immediately conceded for some reason.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, done. So this isn't one of my favorites because sometimes it can be really hard to win, and I really appreciate that guy just going in and conceding because they know sometimes it's hard to win this one. But yeah, I logged in because I went, wait a minute, did I do this once? I went in and saw one win. I was like, oh yeah, I logged in. The guy conceded. I got my pack, so I was like, okay, I'm done.
Nice.
Just get back on the ladder.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up the news for this week. So that brings us to this week's deck list, and Zeroshio and I talked about what deck we wanted to play this week, and we thought about playing Warrior and realized, oh well, we just played Warrior a couple weeks ago, so Zeroshio pitched Soul Shard Demon Hunter.
Yeah, so I was thinking about playing this, and I was like, no, we already did Soul Demon Hunter. No, we did Soul Warlock.
Correct.
And I was looking back on the show, and I was like, we haven't played Demon Hunter at all. Why did I think we played Demon Hunter? And I realized because we played the Soul Shard mechanic, but just not in Demon Hunter. This is, a lot of people are calling this Control Demon Hunter because it does have a lot of control elements to it.
Uh-huh.
I think it's more kind of a mid-range tempo style Demon Hunter that has, actually, truthfully, I think it's a combo Demon Hunter. But a lot of combo Demon Hunters, combo decks, are built in a control shell where you're just kind of controlling the board till you can pop off. And then this deck just pops off with a vengeance.
Okay.
Yeah. See what I did there? Vengeance.
Yeah. So let's run through this deck list for those listening and watching at home. We've got 2 Battle Fiends, 2 Spirit Jailers, 2 Twin Slice, 2 Blade Dance, 2 Chaos Strike, 2 Mana Feeder Pantera, 2 Soul Shear, 2 Eldraki Warblades, 2 Shard Shatter Mystics. Then you've got Kane Sunfury. You've got Lorekeeper Polkelt. You've got Magtheridon, 2 Marrow Slicers, 2 Glaive-bound Adepts, 2 Soul Shard Lapidaries, 2 Skull of Gul'dan, and Soulciologist Militia.
Mana Feeder Panthara. Not Pantera, not the band.
They could be. You
Okay.
get 4 or 5 Mana Feeders together, and you don't know what they're going to do.
There you go. That's okay. Mana Feeder Pantera. All right. So the goal early game, just about in every matchup, is you want to get those souls into the deck because a lot of your deck relies on those souls. The big pop-off is when you can get the Soul Shard Lapidary, which gives you +5 attack by consuming one of your Soul Shards or Soul Fragments, and having the Eldrazi Warblades equipped. Therefore, you're getting all that lifesteal. We've seen this kind of in the old school Kingsbane, where you get the weapon really big, give it lifesteal, and that's your sustain.
Mm-hmm.
That's your sustain for this deck. Also, once you get towards the mid-game where you're at 6-7 mana, you can play Lorekeeper Polkelt, and it's going to reverse organize your deck. Now, remember, if you shuffle any soul fragments into your deck after playing Polkelt, it's going to rearrange your deck again. So you have to. That's actually kind of good sometimes, because sometimes you get the top end, you do what you need with it, then you need those low end, or you need to draw the soul shards again, so you can shuffle another soul shard, and then it jumbles your deck up again. So, and I've used that many times to try to high roll a win.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big board clears is using Magtheridon alongside Shard Shatter Mystic.
Mm-hmm.
And Shard Shatter Mystic is 3 mana, and it consumes a soul fragment to do 3 damage to all the minions on the board.
Right.
Which then revives Magtheridon, who destroys all the minions on the board when he revives. So it will still clear those big minions that the Soul Shatter doesn't kill. Shard Shatter doesn't kill. Obviously, getting Polkelt and drawing right into Skull of Gul'dan, which will then draw the other Skull of Gul'dan, and then a combination of Glaive Bounds and Shatter Shard Lapidaries. This deck just goes crazy.
Yeah. Those of you who watched last week's episode will remember we lost to this deck playing Paladin last week. So this deck is really diverse, and it has multiple ways to win. So
yeah, and I played it today just because I haven't played it since the month started. I played it a lot last month, and then because it was recommended by Ridiculous Hat. And this is an older list. I've seen some changes in newer lists, but I like this list. I'm currently 8-1. My only loss is to a really weird Hunter deck. I was a very bottom heavy Highlander Hunter.
okay.
But other than that, I've got 8 wins with it. So I shot up from rank 9 to rank Diamond 9 to Diamond 4.
Okay. Nice. That's 5 ranks in a short amount of time. That's pretty
It was
good.
like about an hour of play.
Okay.
Maybe a little over an hour.
Okay. Nice.
I really like this deck. It's probably going to be my deck of piloting up to Legend this month. Because Libram Paladin's kind of sitting on a razor's edge right now, where a lot of people are countering it.
Right. Yeah.
But this beats those counters, so it works out well.
Okay. Awesome. Well, folks, that's going to pretty much do it for us this week. If you are joining us on YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of the show. If you are listening to our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you do enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, or if you just like to hang out with us and talk Hearthstone, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to our patron-only Discord. We'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power. It only costs a mana.
All right.
Oh, let me turn on my spectate because I know I have it off. Okay, there we go. Wow, this is the first time you logged in this month.
Yeah.
Wow, you have been busy. Of course you haven't done the Tavern Brawl because you haven't logged in at all this month.
That's very true.
Ooh, 5x bonus. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, gold 9, I think, is where I finished.
Yeah. I mean, for your level of play and how much you play, that's actually really good.
All right, now I have 2 packs to open at the end of the show. Strategy.
Out of my 5 packs from this month, I got 2 golden legendaries.
Oh, very nice.
It was the last 2 legendaries I needed out of the new set. But 5 packs, 2 golden legendaries. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So whenever you are ready,
I'm queued up.
You are.
Is it gonna let you?
There we go.
So we're against the hunter.
Okay, so what are we looking
makes me
for?
nervous.
What are we looking for in our mulligans?
We have the coins, so the Mana Feeder Panthera is really good. I really want to get Spirit Jailers and Battle Fiends early game. I'm probably going to go ahead and throw back everything except for the Mana Feeder and the War Blades, because the War Blades may be good early game
Okay.
to deal with early minion. And what we're probably going to do is use the coin on turn 2 to be able to draw and play the Mana Feeder. The
Shard
Soul
Shatter.
Shear.
Or
The
Soul Share,
Soul
yeah.
Shear is really good
Yes.
to deal with an early 2/3 Wampeltingers. They just toss. Okay, cool.
Hey, there's our turn. Yeah, drop
The
the
Spirit Jailer deals with it. I mean, obviously we could have Hero Power dealt with one, but this is a little more sustained.
Right.
Next turn we can Hero Power Coin Mana Feeder. Unless he plays something we want to Soul Shear. I haven't played many Hunters with. I played one and he beat me, but I don't think this is the same list. But again, we'll find out. He beat me basically by pole kelting and then putting out Bran the next turn. He is really indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
What card back is that? Is that the fish bones?
Looks like the dead fish bones, yeah. Nope, maybe not.
Dead dragon. That's probably Freezing Trap.
Which would be great.
I wouldn't hate that. Let's go ahead and see if we can do it. Yep. Freezing Trap. I like this. Good. So we're probably going to go with the same plan. Hero Power Coin Mana Feeder.
Okay.
If he had problems dealing with our board 1/3, he's definitely going to have problems dealing with the 2/3. 3-mana Spirit Jailer is not great, but it'll give us more Soul Fragments.
More Soul Fragments, and that's really important in this deck.
Yeah. It's mainly because you want to have those Soul Fragments for Sociologist Militia. Once you have the Sociologist Militia, you can worry about drawing them and consuming them at that point. Because you'll have a big board that deals with their board, most likely.
Yeah.
The sneaky part of this deck is it has a lot of heal. He is really indecisive on his plays. Okay, so this is a face style hunter. Okay. So that Blade Dance is going to be really useful. I think we just Eldrachi Warblades and clear that with our face.
Eldrachi. You were right the first time.
I say it both ways just in case I'm wrong. The other line is just getting the Spirit Jailer down now. And saving the Eldrachi for when we need to lifesteal more.
I mean, the thing about the Eldrachi now is it's a net positive. We'll go up 1. If we use it to clear the Wolpertinger, we'll go up 1.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then we'll have it settled for Blade Dance next turn.
Correct.
Use it. Okay, I like that play better. You know me, I like always thinking of that alternate line, even if it's a worse line.
Yeah.
At least identifying it and deciding which one's better. Yeah, he must have a really bad hand. He did mulligan his entire hand, which makes me think this is probably.
His is bigger than ours.
It's bigger, but that's. Ooh, I really don't want to use my weapon.
Well,
on that because I want to have it equipped for the Glaive Bound.
Yeah. What about?
What about? This seems weird. What about Soul Shearing it, and then using Blade Dance to finish it off, and then just the 2/3?
That's actually exactly what I was just looking at. I think that's the best line.
Because this still has our weapon equipped for next turn. So we can attack and use the Glaive Bound with whatever he puts out. It seemed like a suboptimal play just to use that for 1 minion. But he's clearly having trouble, which means he probably has a lot of heavy cards in his hand.
Right.
but he's going to want to use his hero power every turn because of toxic reinforcements.
There's the Eagle Horn. Okay. Is he going to use it to clear? Nope.
No,
Gonna go face.
Face. So I think this is our opening to pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the choice I always run into. So if we... 2 lines. We can swing face, Gladebound face, or we can Pole Celt. Pole Celt will guarantee us... it won't guarantee us a Skull of Gul'dan.
It'll guarantee us Sociologist. So here's what I think we do. I think we go with the original plan of attack, which is attack face, Gladebound, and then we Pole Celt next turn to ensure we get Sociologist on 7.
Yeah, perfect. I like it. And he's got a lot of damage on the board to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't think he runs any taunts, but if so, he got Kane.
Right.
We've got Marrow Slicer. I would like to shuffle more. Maybe if we're putting them on the bottom of our deck, it doesn't matter. If we don't draw a Soul Fragment next turn, I think the Lorekeeper Pole Celt is the way to go.
I agree.
Okay, so this is
unless
Highlander
we top deck Skull of Gul'dan and it's on the right.
Of course. Yeah, naturally. So this is not a Highlander list. So we just saw 2 of Ingenuity.
Yeah.
I think we race now. I think we're just pushing face.
So do you like Marrow Slicer Chaos Strike if you want to race? Or do we stick with the Pole Celt?
Well, Pole Celt will help us. If we Pole Celt, we probably need to trade.
That's true. But, so let's see. 6, 7, 8. And then if we Marrow Slicer, that's 4, 5, 6 more from the Chaos Strike. So that's 6, 12, 13, 14 damage this turn.
And then he can do 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 13 to us. So he'd need 4 more for lethal.
Which he can get by... No. Are you talking about trading in the leopard gnomes?
Yeah,
2,
I'm talking about
4,
trading
6,
in the leopard gnomes. Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So yeah, then he'd have to find 4 more. Okay.
So if that's the case, I think we Marrow Slicer, then we Chaos Strike, because we might draw the fragments.
A fragment, yeah.
We did.
Excellent.
Good. So now he needs 6 damage. And we know it's not Highlander, so he doesn't have Bran.
And we've got Kane Sun Fury, so we have guaranteed he can't drop a taunt and prevent us from killing him next turn.
That's also true, yes. So he is going to trade in. So he's going to put up a secret. And it's going to be Explosive Trap.
Which is still lethal for him.
And, yep. Oh no. Okay, no. So we'll be at 3. So we'll go to 1. I was afraid it was going to be double lethal.
Right. No. That's lethal.
So yeah, we
win.
It's lethal. We win. Unless it's misdirection. So does that mean we have to attack him with a minion first? Yeah. Attacking with Panthera first.
Okay.
Just in case it's misdirection. I doubt it's misdirection. Okay, there we go. I mean, that was just, if in the off chance that it was misdirection, then it would hit our face, we'd still be at 1.
Yeah.
But if we attacked and we hit anything other than Panthera, we would have lost. So. You got to play around all the outs, right?
Right. All right, there's game 1 already in the book.
That's been kind of how this deck runs, and playing the order won us the game because we drew the Soul Shard.
Right.
if we done it opposite and didn't draw a soul shard, the best we would have done is tied.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have another Demon Hunter.
So, the aggro Demon Hunter is becoming real popular. I don't have the coin, so Mana Fiend and Pranthara is less desirable. Twin Slice is good for an early Battle Fiend or any early minion they play on turn 1. Shard Shatter Mystic is good, but probably not this early because we got to get those soul fragments shuffled in. So I think we just keep the Twin Slice.
Okay.
You can't play Twin Slice on 1 because we're on the play. We're not on the coin.
Right.
But we have the Battle Fiend. And it's, even better, Spirit Jailer. So I think we just play Spirit Jailer.
Okay.
And then next turn, because it's going to be, he pretty much doesn't have almost any tools, regardless which deck he's playing, to deal with the Spirit Jailer on 1.
Right, and next turn we can Battle Fiend, Hero Power.
Or we can Battle Fiend Twin Slice.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Battle Fiend Hero Power. Now he likely has a way to deal with the Battle Fiend, but hopefully it's with his face.
Right.
He did keep 3 cards in his mulligan.
Soul Share.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's on the coin, so he had kept 3 cards. So this is a mirror match.
Right.
Which makes it even trickier. So we just Hero Power, go face. We don't want to use a lot of our damage resources early because he can heal, just like we can heal.
Right.
I have faced one other mirror match before with this, and I won it. So this is the version I've faced before. He's running a little different list. It's more updated. I personally don't like the Volpera package with this. I think we just Marrow Slicer that down, right?
That's what I think. Yep. Because that sets us up for the Glaive Bound next turn.
Yep, and get that chip damage anywhere we can.
Yeah.
We kind of want to bait out his Eldrazi Warblades to kind of make him use that healing early.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't do a big pop-off heal with Soul Shard Lapidary. So he's in a spot.
Yeah.
I don't think he has the Marrow Slicer, or he would have snap played it.
He's got 8 cards in his hand, though, so he's got to have something. He's just trying to figure out what's the most optimum line he's got with what he has in his hand.
He might be top heavy. He might have the Sociologist, both Lapidaries. He hasn't shuffled. Okay, he has shuffled 1 Soul Fragment, so he could coin out Lapidary here. But what's that do? 5 damage to our face. He doesn't want to clear a 1/3 with that. Develops a 5/5, but
right.
Maybe he's making a Hot Pocket, getting some Yoo-Hoo. So we just attack face and Glaive Bound, right?
Yeah.
Skull. One up.
I know. Send it all face.
Maybe he's realized it's a mirror once we played the Marrow Slicer and he closed his app. Okay, here we go.
No. He just didn't have anything. He was waiting on you to play something more worthwhile to his cards, I guess.
That, or, we've said this. It's a mobile game. If he's roping, he might be wiping.
That's true. That's very true.
Okay, so he's going to Hero Power this down? He almost has to, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's 6 damage.
Puts him at 10. How much do we... Let's see. What do we have in our hand?
Here, hold on. I think we got lethal. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we're 1 off.
Okay. But yeah, no. I'd say send it all.
So, Marrow Slicer.
And do 1/2 of Twin Slice. And
I say we just Hero Power.
Okay. Save the Twin Slice for next turn. Don't let him know we have it.
Yeah. I mean, right now we're representing lethal. so he's gonna have to heal.
Yeah.
But he might be able to play a Eldrazi Warblades, develop a little bit of healing, and develop some on the board.
So there's
Here
the
we go.
Warblades.
So if you can get a minion out,
Chaos Strike.
Chaos Strike, okay.
5. So that's going to put him back at 10.
Okay. We can draw the other Twin Slice. That works.
Yeah.
Yep, that works. So Lapidary, Twin Slice, second slice.
Nice.
There you go. And that's really how the mirror happens. Whoever can pop up with their soul fragments earlier
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah.
Or
him missing that turn really put the nail in his coffin.
Yeah, and again, like you said, he might have just had nothing to do. Maybe it was just a bad play and he drew bad.
Right.
Or what? Or maybe he went through a tunnel. Who knows?
Yeah, just like that. 2-0.
And I'm at Diamond 4 3 stars, so probably not gonna push too hard today. Might go back in the wild and work on it, inch both of those up. But tomorrow is Labor Day.
Tomorrow is Labor Day.
If you're listening on the download, today is Labor Day. So
Yeah.
happy Labor Day. Hope everybody's having a good day with their day off. Obviously, there's probably not as many cookouts and stuff like that going on today. But just know that we here at Hero Power appreciate you no matter what job you do. You're essential in our eyes. And make sure to let anybody else, any friends of yours that are in any service industries, know that you appreciate them today. Because obviously stores and restaurants and stuff don't necessarily take Labor Day off. So show that appreciation out.
That's right. All right, gang. Well, that's going to do it for us. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't done so already. For more details about our Patreon, make sure you check out patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.